Is there anything that could happen in this country that would not immediately turn into just memes? Like the president almost got killed and it was nonstop memes. I was like, if Twitter were around for 9/11, like would it have been memes that day? Like I really think we're at a point on the internet now that like there's nothing that could happen that wouldn't just become jokes.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Tuesday. It's July 16th. We're brought to you by Cars.com. Whoever wins the Cars.com parking spot here at Barstool will have plenty of extra time to create an account with Cars.com and check their car's value. The winning employee is going to get the most prized parking spot at Barstool, but we can all grab some very valuable insights into our car's value with Cars.com Your Garage feature. The Barstool employee parking garage is frustrating, but Cars.com's new feature, Your Garage, is anything but. Your Garage lets you see your car's value up to 60 days in the future. So you are going to find out if selling today gets you a better deal than it would a few weeks from now. You can track your car's value so you know exactly what to expect when you are ready to sell. Track your car's value. Cars.com. Check it out. The employee parking spot that is painted for Cars.com is the best spot in the house. I can't wait to win it. I can't wait to win that parking spot and zoom in with the El Camino purring, growling into the parking lot. Drove it to work today, and I did go shopping for El Caminos on Cars.com. Shout out Cars.com. All right, we're back. Anything happen this weekend?
I dropped my kid off at camp.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Was that bittersweet, or were you happy?
No, I was happy. Like,
okay.
It seems fun. It's like a sailing camp.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, sailing, and then they have like Iron Chef competitions too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good time. Plus, you get a little bit of the house to yourself.
Yeah, and Cardi was like, what are you guys going to do? I was like, walk around with my butt cheeks in the wind.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Like, please stop.
That's what I do when Blake's out of the house, too. Just full nude on the couch.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're back. Anything interesting happened with you this weekend, Big T?
No, just chilled.
Anything crazy in the world?
I don't know.
I don't know. When you get the cast off?
Tomorrow.
You excited?
Yeah. To the next 24 hours, big. Get this off. NCAA. It's a big day.
It's going to be a very big day today, yeah. It was a big weekend. We do have Chaps in studio today. Shout out Chaps joining us. We figured it would be a good idea to invite Chaps given his experience working in and around the United States Secret Service.
Yep.
Tough Monday for the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Very tough Monday.
Yeah.
So we still don't really know much about what happened. We know that there was a shooter at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania, and he was on the roof that was about, 130 yards away, 130 meters away. Mm-hmm. And he was able to get up on the roof during the speech, fired, I think, multiple shots.
Yep,
we
multiple
can say.
shots with a long gun, too.
What do you mean?
So not like a pistol, like going up there, like it's not like a pistol where you can put it in your pants, like, oh, it's somebody trying to get a better, like, look.
Yeah.
You go with a long gun, you're not tucking that in your trousers.
Right. He had to, like, carry that apparently, like, through some people to get there.
Yeah.
Climb up on the roof, get the gun out, position himself, shot the former president in the ear, it looks like, and hit a couple other people in the stands. I think one person's dead, confirmed, and then a couple others are currently in the hospital. So crazy day on Saturday when that happened. It would have been so bad, I think, if Trump had gotten actually shot, if he had died.
Yeah, if he was actually killed, yeah.
It would have been just game on, America. So I think we all kind of dodged a bullet on that one in a weird way. But Chaps did work with the Secret Service, and it's no matter what comes out after this, I think we can all agree that there was like a tremendous lapse in security. Somebody fucked up big time. Multiple people probably fucked up big time.
So the official story right now, I just want to make sure we all agree on this, is it's a 20-year-old guy acting alone who is politically radical enough to try to kill the former president, but has never posted anything on social media in his whole life, who got up on a roof in plain view with a direct line to the president, shoots him in the head while the Secret Service snipers were trained on him before he shot, I believe. Have you seen that video?
I have seen where they were They were aiming, yeah.
Okay, so they're locked on him before he shoots the president in the head, then they kill him. And he's left behind no manifesto, nothing. This guy's a ghost.
Well, what I'm thinking is that you're right. Right now, that's what we have to go on. But I'm pretty sure that if they found like a manifesto, they're not going to let that out just yet.
Probably
they're
not.
doing like a full investigation. He might have had social media. They might have just gone ahead and had that all scrubbed before people can dig into it.
Nah.
You don't think so?
No way. I mean, that's the thing. Kind of like the moon landing, where there's so many people that would have to keep that under wraps. Because if you find that manifesto, you're talking about it to somebody. Yeah. Like, you're not going to... Like, those Secret Service agents that are looking for that stuff, if it's anywhere around, they're not, like, high-level Secret Service agents. Like, that, I think everybody looks at Secret Service folks like they're FBI members. But a lot of the members of the Secret Service are essentially, like... I don't want to be disrespectful, but they do, like, security guard shit. Where you kind of figure out the room is clear, and then you post somebody that's out there to make sure nobody comes out. And that's, like, the extent of their... capabilities or what they do.
Well, that's clear now, because some of those Secret Service agents, I mean, the woman who like was, what are we doing, couldn't holster the gun. I mean, that's insane.
I feel bad for that person, because this is armchair quarterbacking from people that have never been around gunfire, never been in that level of situation. The first time that you're around like combat gunfire and you're responsible to do something, your head is absolutely spinning. Like in that zone where you are on the former president's detail. He just got shot. You're not sure where the threat is coming from, and you have to react in a certain way while you're ushering the president forward, trying to make sure and holstering on the side of where your weapon could have been, like, because it's on a regular belt. If she's in that crowd, it could have pushed her holster forward or back, and you trained to go to the same spot every time. So
definitely a crazy situation, but we are supposed to
But she's being treated like a piece of shit, and it's wildly inappropriate, I think.
Well, that's not even the worst. The worst part was her being behind the like crowd of them jumping on him, yelling, "What are we doing?" That was the bad part.
You yell, "What are we doing?" Which way is our egress point? Are we going to the right? Because you have plans, but those plans change. Are you going primary, alternate, or tertiary? Which way are we going? Like, because they have her, they can't usher and figure it out on the fly. She has to point, like, which way are we going? She could have been the point of they surround and then she determines the fastest way out. Or she's on the radio listening in, which way are we going? Which way are we going?
Okay.
Like there's a lot of things that people, like, this woman is going to go through hell. Her life is changed forever when she is willing to put her life on the line for somebody that she's protecting. I think people going after her is so wrong. Like saying that she's a DEI hire. Like, there's plenty of women that I worked with that are extremely competent, not in combat not just combat operations, but in operations in general in government. I thought what they did to her was fucked up.
So here are the two questions I have for you mainly.
Okay.
Number one, explain to me the rules of engagement for Secret Service, because it seems quite clear that they were locked on that guy for like a minute and a half before he shot. And two, what do you grade the Secret Service response, including that like preemptively?
So rules of engagement's tough because it depends on like what you have, because there's weapon safety rules, and one of the unspoken one is know your target and what lies behind. So you have to factor in the risk of what you would take there, like what is the appropriate level of risk with that many people in the crowd, with the line of sight that you have on that shooter. Because even if their guns are pointed that way, we don't know what it looks like in their crosshairs. There could be a branch that's in the way. There could be all kinds of things. Like, do you have like windage that's going on? What angle do you have? Can you really make positive identification? Now, rules of engagement in a combat zone, when I was there, it was fucking tough. Like, because we had you could only fire if fired upon. So unless you saw muzzle flashes, you weren't allowed to engage. I can't speak to what that detail is because it changes from detail to detail. So if you're in a room, like say, for instance, if we go to like a G7 summit and there is somebody that's coming across the stage that has like a knife, which poses an immediate threat. There is like like national defense. What is it called?
It's called the it starts with a T, right? The rule. It's 20 feet basically.
Yeah, so you have a certain amount of distance that you could take somebody out. But whenever you're at a G7 summit, there's multiple countries that are involved, so the rules of engagement there are going to be different than they would be if you're giving a campaign speech in Pennsylvania, or it depends on where you're at. I have never heard of the Secret Service taking a preemptive shot. But
really? I guess it's very rare that they would have to do
it's
that.
very rare that they would have to.
But surely if they are certain this guy has a gun, he is on the roof pointed at the president, they can kill that guy.
Yeah, and there's also, like, whenever you're on the roof, you could see that person, but is the person that you're seeing in that position, should they be in that position? Like, if you're making sure that the person on that roof, is that a Secret Service person? Because they have long guns up there. You saw it. There's long guns all over the place. Like, I think I pointed out to you a couple spots where whenever we were at Army and Navy, I was like, this is where you would station somebody. This is where you would station somebody. They could be checking, like, is this one of our people cleared hot once it comes in, and then it happens. Like, these are split-second decisions that people now, because you have Twitter, are like, this should have been said, this should have been said. Think about the amount of time that takes, the decisions that you have to make. That's why these jobs are difficult, man. And to give you a grade, F. The former president got shot. It's an F.
To me, the biggest lapse is probably getting that person on the roof in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, once they're on the roof, I understand that.
People told them.
Yeah. Once you're on the roof, I understand what Chaps is saying. Like, in the heat of the moment, in the fog of war, you are staring down the barrel of your own sniper rifle, and you're trying to figure out if that's a friendly, if that's like one of yours, if that person's supposed to be there.
Right.
Because every place that you go with the president is different, right?
Yeah.
Like, every time you set up, you've got different buildings around you, and you have to learn, okay, where are the positions of my people going to be for this particular rally? And so that can take a couple seconds to figure out, is that me, or is that one of us, is that somebody else? But to let that guy even get on the roof with a rifle is crazy. And yeah, the fact that it got to that point means that somebody really fucked up badly.
Yeah, I mean, it was an abject failure. And I think it's a failure as a whole for the operation. I don't like what they're doing to that woman, like making it seem like it was her fault, essentially, that the president got shot. The former president got shot.
You have to have somebody to blame.
Right.
Everyone's looking for somebody to point their finger at.
And I can't stand that. I think that's a wrong thing to do. Like, the points of failure there were many.
Saturday,
of the agents to blame, I would, and I struggle with this because I understand what a difficult situation that must have been. But the guys who had guns trained on him before he shot, that's where I would go first.
Yeah, but we don't know what their instructions
were.
And those instructions, like the Secret Service is different. They don't give a fuck what the president wants. Like, the Secret Service shouldn't, by what it's supposed to be, should not give a shit about what the president wants to do. Their job, even if he doesn't want to, Bush didn't want to go to the bunker. His ass went to the fucking bunker. It doesn't matter if he doesn't want to. If he doesn't want to, you pick his ass up and take him to the bunker. Like, there's certain responsibilities that you have. So if you're in that moment and you have it and you're listening to your rules, I mean, I don't think there would be anything that would happen in that situation where if somebody had a gun trained on the former president and you shot him preemptively. I don't think anything would happen, but I also don't know that nothing would happen.
I would assume that the rules of engagement are that if somebody has a gun pointed at the president, then you can go ahead and take that person out.
I would imagine so too. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing that would be different is what lies behind.
Yeah.
Like, because you do have to take that into account. But from the view that I saw, there's trees and shit in the background, and that building was pretty wide open. I mean, in 130 yards, you don't need a sniper. I'll do that with iron sights with like one hand tied behind my back.
Yeah, so that's going to be my next question. How bad of a shot was this kid?
Well,
130 yards he had. It was an AR-15 style, or was it an AR-15? Do we know?
Oh, if it's an AR-15,
they just said it was a rifle. I don't think they've said AR-15.
Okay.
So, like, if you're...
Which stands for, by the way, Assault Rifle 15. If you're not familiar with guns.
This is how we got here. This is how Trump got shot.
The 14th model,
by saying assault rifle?
Part of it.
Okay,
so that's part of the disinformation that has led to this.
Okay.
All right, so with that shot, to give you an idea, when you go to boot camp, you have 3 levels of fire that you learn. Three distances. You learn 500 meters, which is on a body size target. So it's basically your head down to your waist. Then you have 300. That's in a dog target. It's what it's called. It's basically like if you're laying down, you see the shoulders and the head. And then you have an able target, which is just essentially the center shot. That one comes in at 200 meters. So the shot that he taken wouldn't even be like an elementary level of Marine Corps shot.
So this guy sucked at shooting.
Now, that being said, shooting, if he's never done it before, shooting at that trajectory downward is not a position that you typically shoot whenever you're doing it. Wind, and most kids don't factor in wind, and it was a pretty windy day.
And also probably just the moment.
And the moment, yeah. Like I was telling them earlier, I'll explain it to you. Is this mic on?
Yep.
All right. Will you turn this mic off? Is this possible? So just to give you an example. So like this is almost like a trigger, right? So if I'm pulling, it was easier on this one. So if I'm pulling this trigger and I'm nervous, it's going to go a little bit to the right.
Adrenaline.
So like the trigger pull a lot of people that aren't experienced, and you're going to yank the trigger back. When you do that, it points the gun off to the right just a little bit. So like I was telling him, if you're doing home security and you want to make sure you're home, you don't want a pistol, because even most police officers are going to miss their first pistol shot because they're going to jerk it with the trigger. So if you're in that level of position where you're trying to shoot the former president, you look around, you know that you're probably going to get pieced up.
Yeah.
That level of discipline to keep a disciplined trigger pull, like there's so many things, like your breathing method has to be the same, where you're shooting in the lull of the action and then you have a smooth trigger pull at the end. All of those things are difficult to do whenever it's a body for the first time. Like it's one, I mean, you've gone hunting, I assume, right?
Not hunting. I've shot guns.
Okay, so have you ever been hunting where like there's a deer that's in your sights for the first time, or any type of animal, bird, whatever? The difference of your breathing style whenever you're actually going to kill something or someone is totally different than whenever you're sitting in your backyard shooting at a can. So that level of, oh fuck, I'm probably about to get killed and I'm going to shoot somebody for the first time, is pretty stressful.
So yeah, no matter what we find out about this guy, we can all thank God that he was just a terrible shot in the moment.
Yeah.
Terrible shot in the moment. So now Saturday was a banner day and waiting for all the facts to come out, because everyone had their theories about what's going on, how it happened, what the motives are. Then we all scramble to find out, okay, what was the reason that this kid did this? And we still don't really know that much about him. Like Big T said, we don't have any indication of like an online presence. All we have to go on basically is his name, his political affiliation, his political donations that he's made in the past, and then we can kind of like start to put together what we think he was. He was also wearing a Demolition Ranch t-shirt. You know those guys at Demolition Ranch, the YouTube channel?
Oh, is that the dude that, like the Diesel guy?
They're
no,
like,
not, that's Whistling Diesel.
They're
right?
like a firearms YouTube channel.
Okay.
So they're very popular. But I can't imagine like what the guys at Demolition Ranch were thinking when they saw that he was wearing their t-shirt during that. Pretty bad press for the boys at Demolition Ranch, no matter what was going on with this kid.
Yeah.
So on Saturday night, when I saw that t-shirt, and I at no point did I think he was like a representative of the YouTube channel or anything like that. But the world is content at this point. We're all content. If he was making a vlog behind the scenes being like, this will get the boys at Demo Ranch to pay attention. This is going to do numbers if I do like a whole vlog.
Numbies. They don't know gun violence doesn't that'll get taken down. You can't monetize that.
It'll get demonetized. Yeah. So we don't know what the hell is going on with this kid. He's 20 years old. He's from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He donated to a Democratic fund a few years ago. I think it was an Act Blue fund. Yeah. He was registered Republican. So now everybody's
So he gave that donation, and then I think it was 6 months later he registered as a Republican.
Is that what it was? That's
presumably to vote against Republicans in primaries, because Pennsylvania is a closed primary state.
Well, that's the thing is we don't know. You can't say like presumably at this point.
I mean, he tried to kill Trump. He's not a Republican.
Well, that. Well, no, see, the thing is, when it first happened, I thought, okay, it could be a run-of-the-mill angry lib, or my second thought was it could be an accelerationist who have made plans to do this type of stuff before, Like what are they, the Boogaloo Boys?
Mm-hmm.
So people that just want a civil war. They want chaos in America. They're the ones that show up to rallies wearing like the Hawaiian shirts, and they have like the Kekistan flags and all that shit. They just want civil war to happen.
The oddest part to me is now that, you know, they go around and they interview people that are around them all the time. Nobody is, because typically when you have a shooter, like the one in Uvalde, for example, they're like, yeah, that kid was fucked up. Or like in Columbine and the countless other, everyone basically is like, this guy is kind of a fucking lunatic. Everybody's basically said this was a super nice kid.
Yeah, so did he get kicked out of his gun club?
He didn't make the rifle team because he sucked.
Well,
which I didn't know there were high school rifle teams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I would have heard about that in the South, but I've never heard of that.
Fucking live-ass Georgia. Voting blue.
Dude, I'm telling you, Western Pennsylvania is country as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It is very country. So, yeah, that's the thing at Big T is we don't know. We can make guesses as to what this guy did and what he was about. The only information I've seen about his political ideology beyond those two facts that we know, and you can get those through like open record searches, so we have access to that. One of his high school classmates said that he was always on the conservative side of every debate. Like the teacher would make people stand on this side if you were on the liberal side, and then this side if you were on the conservative side. Apparently this kid was always on that side, but that's one student that said that to the press. So we have no idea. That even hearing from that, it's like we don't know.
Did you see the BlackRock commercial?
I did see he was in a BlackRock commercial.
BlackRock commercial.
What's BlackRock?
BlackRock is a private equity fund.
The reason you can't buy a house anymore.
They're one of the biggest private equity funds in the world, and they own a share of pretty much everything that you use on a day-to-day basis.
And he was in a commercial?
They like filmed something at his school with like a teacher or something, and he's in it.
Oh, so not like him directly.
No,
He just
happens to show up in it.
I was like, well, if that's the case, well, maybe is there a little something?
Yeah, no, he that was just a little interesting.
But as far as I don't know many, because I think at the time where he did that in 2021, how old did they say he was when he was 20 now?
He's 20.
So when he registered 17, I don't know a lot of 17-year-olds or 18-year-olds that are savvy enough in the political process to be like, I'm going to register as a Republican so I can vote in that primary and try to get Trump.
I don't know a lot of 18-year-olds that are donating money to organizations either, though.
Yeah,
but it was $15.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
like
know,
the donation was $15.
Yeah, we don't know. That's the thing. It's like we have no idea what this kid was about. If he wanted, I mean, the guy that tried to kill Reagan, he did because he wanted to impress Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Right, Hinckley.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, you know you're dying.
Yeah.
Like you're either dying or you're going to prison for the remainder of your natural life, or getting out and then making some like TikTok songs too. Like
yeah.
How did John Hinckley not die?
That's a good question.
I have no idea.
And
he's out now.
Yeah. They wrestled the gun away from him. He shot Brady in the head.
What if it was him?
Hinckley's back at it. Back at his old tricks. Yeah, I don't know. They wrestled the handgun away from him, just pinned him on the ground. I mean, it would have been nice to take this kid alive and see what he was about, who he was talking to.
But in that situation, there was a shit ton of people around too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had to take him out for sure. That was the right call to eliminate the threat. But it would have been nice if he had just been like severely wounded, and then they could just question him. And
you probably do want to see if they're, like you were saying, if there's something behind it, like if you can take somebody alive. I don't know if I do, like in that situation, I would likely, like being honest, if I'm in that position and I'm on the sniper hide on that, or not even a hide, if I'm there, I'm killing that guy.
You have to. I mean, you shot 8 shots?
I mean,
6 or 8?
Even before that, like if I saw him preemptively,
right,
I would like to think that I would recognize somebody who was in a different shirt than the rest of us wear, and that guy's dead.
Also, if he's laying down like that, it'd be hard to hit him and not kill him.
And you could tell by the type of weapon that you use too. Like you would use a different type of weapon than what he would use.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is. I don't think there's any way you can say the president's hurt or former president's hurt, injured. It is the responsibility of the Secret Service, and like that detail was a failure.
Yeah.
But on what level? It's kind of like if you're on a football team. Did the Jags fail? Yes. Was it Cam Robinson's fault because he gave up 1 sack? Probably not, but it contributed greatly.
Yeah, it was a team failure.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he wasn't wearing a macrodosing shirt.
Can you imagine? Well, so now I've seen that Trump has been asking for additional Secret Service detail for months, and they wouldn't give it to him.
Yes.
And also that most of the actual Secret Service was at Jill Biden's rally in Pittsburgh, and he had like other Homeland Security guys that were from like other details.
That's absolute horseshit. There's two totally. I mean, he's the former president of the United States. One, he gets Secret Service detail for the rest of his life. Like, he has it at all time. Two, he gets the same amount. It's already agreed upon which one, who gets it, like how much is there. There's protocols for all that. Like, if you're the presumptive nominee or if you are the nominee and the former president, you have your security detail.
So there's various levels of Secret Service, like security details, right? There's like
and everybody asks for more. Everybody.
Current president has the current president allotment. And then former presidents get a slightly reduced level of Secret Service protection, right?
But not reduced that much.
Yeah.
Like, once it gets to this point where there's essentially two, there's not a huge hell of a lot of difference whenever you're, like, talking about events.
And then after the nomination process, then he gets more, right? When you're the actual nominee.
Yeah, and he's the presumptive nominee. He has it already.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody asked for it. Like, that was one of the biggest things in the Benghazi situation, where like, oh, they're constantly asking for security. You go around to the 300 and something or whatever the number is embassy, I would guarantee you 95% are asking for more security. It's just what you do.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, fortunate day that he wasn't killed. I think that would have been one of the more explosive days in American history.
Yeah.
And it'd be a bad day to be just hanging out in America.
Yeah, I agree.
But I want to give credit to Donald Trump for having the presence of mind right after he's shot in the ear to stand up and strike what was honestly like one of the more iconic poses.
In all seriousness, from our, let's say my lifetime, 97 to now, obviously there's some 9/11 photos like Bush at 9/11 and stuff like that. After that, what's a more iconic photo?
I mean, George W. Bush dodging the shoe was pretty electric.
Yeah, but that was like funny, kind of.
I agree that with the flag behind Bush, I would think be one of one.
I think this is right after that.
It's going to be up there. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of the coolest photos of all time.
The man just got shot in his head, and he stands up
and says "fight."
Like, if that were me, I'd be shitting myself.
That's the other Secret Service thing I wanted to talk to you about. So they have a 5'4", 5'5" woman standing in the front with him exposed again. Is that supposed to happen?
I don't think that's the way you draw it up. No, but like I said, once the chaos ensues, everybody has a plan to get punched in the mouth.
Right.
And I think they said that the threat was down when they let him back up.
Yeah. So they killed him in 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, but that's a mistake too.
Because there might be more, yeah.
You can't say the threat's down. Like, you have no idea if the threat's down. Like, at that moment, they only see one shooter. There could have easily been people with guns in there.
Yeah. So the crazy thing to me is there have been numerous assassination plots that have been uncovered in the last 20 years, 30 years. This is as close as it can possibly get. We're talking like 2 inches away from mission accomplished for this guy. And
only one closer, I would say, was Reagan.
Well, Reagan actually did get shot.
Where did he get shot?
In his lung.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So much worse gunshot wound for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there were several plots against Obama that got uncovered. Some people that actually, I think a guy maybe have fired shots into the White House.
Hit the side of the building.
There was another guy.
That was a fucking stupid day. That day was long as fuck.
I bet.
I had 2 different phones, and one was for like Marine Corps Base Quantico, and one was like for other things that you might have to get attached to. When that phone's Nextel beep went, it was like in the middle of the night. You're like, you guys got to get up there, get 3 dogs there. We're like, well, here we go. Shit.
It's a bad day.
Yeah.
There was the hand grenade that was thrown at George W. Bush. It landed on stage. I think it landed within the kill zone of him. And it was a dud. It didn't go off. Mm-hmm. But that was almost a completed assassination. There was a father-son duo, I remember, that got arrested driving into Washington, D.C. Their plan was to rent an all-white limousine.
Oh, yeah.
Wear all-white tuxedos.
Yep.
And then lean out of the windows of the limo like the Joker and just spray Obama down with semi-automatic fire. Those guys, I think, were just on meth. I think
movies. They're huge movies guys.
Yeah, I think they wrote down a plan after they watched Batman, and then they got pulled over. So I don't know how close they actually got to doing it.
That would make a great movie, though.
It would. This is like an inch away from taking out a former president and maybe the most polarizing political figure in American history. And boy, would have been a bad day if that happened. Would have been a real bad day in America. So now Biden hears about this. He reacts swiftly, like 3 hours later, and puts out a statement.
Not appropriate to try to kill the former president.
Inappropriate.
Not appropriate.
Yeah. Cut it out with the malarkey.
So here's what I really wanted to talk about.
Heavy amounts of malarkey in western Pennsylvania this morning.
And I'm mad Arian is in here. So this guy was 20. So for half of his life, this guy that he tried to kill has been called Hitler, the biggest threat to America that's ever existed, a genuine threat. Here's some tweets. These are just from Joe Biden, who is not the biggest culprit of this. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom, a threat to our democracy. Trump poses many threats to our country, but the greatest threat he poses is to democracy. Trump is a threat to democracy, so on and so forth. He's been on the cover of magazines as Hitler. If you say for 10 years that a guy is Hitler and he's going to destroy America, it is not only like conscionable, it is reasonable to try to kill that person. It's a wonder it took this long.
So my issue with the Republican stance on this is the cognitive dissonance is just absolutely insane. Like, if we're going to act like, you could say this is a both sides situation, but are we really going to act like that hasn't happened on the Republican side towards Biden and the media and
nobody
everybody?
has ever said that Biden is Hitler and that he's a threat to the future of the country. They've said he's
that's one, but a radical socialist like Stalin, you would hear for sure, like that he's trying to usher in.
It's not to that extent. So, now Trump said some crazy shit.
When Biden gave that speech where he had like the red flags and the black lighting and all that,
he
stuff
had very similar language during that as well.
There was a lot of people saying that Biden was acting like Hitler. Obama got treated as, Hillary Clinton was treated as literally the devil. But I do
it is not the same.
But I do know what you're saying though, Big T, because when we talked about Alex Jones a while back and his whole like 9/11 inside job thing, if you truly believe the stuff that Alex Jones is saying, then you're either a fraud who doesn't actually believe it but likes to pretend like they believe it because you enjoy being upset, or you're a pussy for not taking his threats seriously and acting on them. So like with Alex Jones, what he's done, I kind of see what you're getting at.
It was only a matter of time until this happened.
But again, here's the thing is we don't know what this kid was about yet. We don't.
It doesn't matter though. When the entire mainstream media and a political party has said for 10 years that this guy is Hitler.
Well, I wouldn't say the entire Democratic Party has said that Donald Trump is Hitler. They've said like he's a threat to America. He's a threat to be reelected, threat to democracy, which, by the way, the Republicans have also been saying about Democrats. Now, the Hitler stuff, yes, that is way more. I think
he's been on the cover of the biggest publications in America, like dressed as Hitler.
Yeah, so there's been that. For sure. What was the most recent one? It was like American fascism or something like that.
There was one recently. It was like the Washington Post or something that said like, yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. And it had both of their faces.
Yeah. So, but we don't, that's the thing with this kid, we don't know yet. We can make a lot of assumptions about what's going on. We might be right about some of them. We might end up being wrong, but we're going to find out a lot in the next, I hope we'll find out a lot. I don't want this to turn into like a Las Vegas shooting thing where we just never know what the fuck's going on. And then everybody else has to fill in the dots.
I think this one will be a lot more remembered. It's sad that 70 people being gunned down is not one that will keep the public conscience for a while. I think this one will be one where people are like, but we also don't know the full story behind 9/11. Like when I said, like the 9/11 report's not completely out there.
Oh, by the way,
unredacted.
Speaking of the 9/11 report, did you see the video that came out of the Saudi intelligence agency? There was an agent. He was working for the Saudi government. And this was like evidence that they collected when they were putting together the report. It's like a intelligence agent from Saudi Arabia standing in front of the Capitol, casing it out and showing like different parts of it on the video, talking about the plan that they're putting into place. It never made it into the 9/11 Commission report. And the video just resurfaced like 2 weeks ago where they're like, I remember that this was sent into us. I don't know how it didn't make it into the final report, but it's pretty fucking clear that the Saudi government had something to do with 9/11.
And they absolutely knew that.
Yes.
Like, had to have known.
Well, we flew Bin Laden's cousins out of the country like 2 days after 9/11. We gave them waivers to fly out of the country and go back to Saudi Arabia when nobody else in America could catch a flight anywhere to protect them, because Bush was saying that there's going to be people that go after the Bin Laden family unfairly because of what just happened, and these guys had nothing to do with their cousin who was like the black sheep.
How long did it take for them to? I don't remember how long it took them to claim responsibility. Al-Qaeda.
I think it might have been like the night of.
Was it?
I think it was within the first couple of days. Yeah, I think they did claim responsibility pretty much right off the bat, and then the ties that the Bush family had with the Bin Laden family, funding all their Texas oil ventures and all sorts of stuff that they were deeply, deeply financially related, and then flying the Bin Ladens out of the country like 2 days afterwards.
It's crazy that the two spots that we went to war were both two that we've had like their kids inside the United States, like Uday Hussein.
Yeah,
got language training from the Air Force, like it.
Yeah, then we attacked all Saudi Arabia's enemies right afterwards. Mad Dog, raising your hand.
Yeah. I just Googled it, and it says that 2 weeks after 9/11 is when the FBI connected the hijackers to Al-Qaeda. But then I'm also seeing on Google that Bin Laden didn't take responsibility for it until 2004.
Oh, really?
So
there might have been chatter. That's a word that
Scuttlebutt.
we don't use that much anymore. There's a lot of chatter going on.
There is a lot of
about
chatter.
an impending attack.
yeah, it says in a video released on this day, 2021, 2004, that Bin Laden released a video saying that he took responsibility for it, but the FBI connected it 2 weeks after. So
Okay. By the way, I'm looking up right now to see if Demolition Ranch has condemned the shooting on the president.
People, I got so many tweets about that. Like, can you formally condemn? Like, dude, I'm a fucking podcaster. Like, do I really need to make a statement about this? The answer is no.
So they have made a statement. The channel, hosted by Matt Carricker, boasts millions of subscribers, features videos that explore the capabilities of various firearms and explosive devices. On Instagram, Carricker posted a photo of the downed suspect wearing the merchandise and captioned it, "What the hell?"
That's a perfect way to get your merch out there, though. Like, act like you're being like, this is fucked up.
I mean, where was Darren Ravel on this? Old school Darren Ravel would have been
he'd be
this
bidding
provided
on that
$3.5 million worth of free advertising to Demolition Ranch. Where were you, Darren, when our country needed you the most? I'm also disappointed in John Rothstein, because after the assassination attempt, everybody was online. Everybody was refreshing the timeline, trying to see what was going on. It was the most depressing, chaotic, just really putting America in a bad spot mentally, refreshing our timelines. And all we wanted was for John Rothstein to announce an out-of-conference college basketball game for 2026, just to break it up.
If he had put out the 2025 Maui Invitational field, it would have been the most retweeted tweet of all time.
Oh my God. Even if it was Oregon State is going to travel to Gonzaga on November 26, 2025.
But what about if we would have had another one that would have been great? Tro Bollins comes back with the smocking tweet.
Smocking tweet would have been great at the moment, too.
Did you see the tweet from Drill from 2019?
No.
Did you see that? Hang on.
It's so good.
The Drill now?
It's crazy. Hang on, let me find it.
So you're
make
saying
sure I read
that
it verbatim. If I were president and got shot at, I would just deflect the bullet with my ear or something, run around on stage a bit, throw my fists up unbothered in my lane, win re-election in a landslide.
Is that a real tweet?
From March 12th, 2019.
Are you serious? That's
No
an
way.
actual real tweet. That's not like a Photoshop.
Yes.
what?
That and Shane,
Wait.
is it?
There's
It's
no way
fake.
that's real. Yeah, there's no way that's Come on, Big
Shane
T.
Gillis's thing is real though, where his stand-up where he talks about Trump getting shot, where it'd be the funniest thing.
It was actually funnier than he ever imagined.
right. Yeah.
I can't believe that's fake, dude.
Of course it's fake.
I mean, that's believable.
I wouldn't.
You've got on way worse.
I don't know. I don't think I have.
Yes, you have. You've gotten Richard G. Wested 3 times.
No, not me.
Yes.
Personally, I would never try to trick somebody on the internet.
No, not you, Chaps.
I mean, I get an Athletic Premium Plus every month.
So is there anything that could happen in this country that would not immediately turn into just memes? The president almost got killed, and it was nonstop memes. I was like, if Twitter were around for 9/11, would it have been memes that day? Like, I really think we're at a point on the
Absolutely.
on the internet
Yeah.
now that, like, there's nothing that could happen that wouldn't just become jokes. There were people tweeting shit that, like, people were like, y'all need to really stop and consider what you're tweeting. Like, you're going to get a knock on the door.
So, yeah, I don't think that there is anything that's like an atomic bomb, a bomb going off.
Still.
I think there'd be memes.
There might
Yeah.
be more memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There could be more. Because you meme through it. You know, like instead of tweeting through it, you meme through it. I took a different approach to, I couldn't scroll because it was making me hate everyone.
Yeah.
Like there was some celebration on the left, but there was also some celebration on the right. Like people were like, this secures the nomination, like this. And I'm like, dude, do you not realize how fucked we are as a country? Like we are so unbelievably fucked. I can't remember a time in my lifetime where I've been like, we're like legit in danger.
Yeah, it's not good. It could have been worse, though. That's the thing.
Oh, it could have been expedited. I think it would have expedited the downfall.
Yeah. It would have been real bad. But no, there's nothing off limits to memes. There's just not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, who's the most popular person in America right now?
That's actually a good question.
Most popular person?
Yeah.
I think it has to be like some sort of celebrity. I don't know who it would be. Because it's definitely not a political figure.
No,
For
it's
sure
not.
not. It's nobody that has ever espoused any type of political opinion.
Most athletes, there are people who like them and don't like them.
Yeah.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift.
Travis
No,
Scott.
but
There's
there's a lot of
plenty of
people
people who
that
hate
hate
Taylor
her.
Swift.
But she has so many
But
fans.
that doesn't mean she's
still,
not popular.
Well, no, there's
I mean,
a lot of
yeah.
LeBron is popular, but there's a
not
lot
like
of people
well
who hate
known,
LeBron.
but like most liked person.
Yeah, most liked person in America. I'm trying to look that up right now to see.
I mean, it used to be with the, with the bullet. Fucking, who's the Mr. Neighborhood guy?
oh, Mr.
Mr.
Rogers.
Yeah,
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. I think would have
R.I.P.
been up there.
It might be a dog.
Yeah, liked is different than popular. I don't think there's anybody anymore that's like universally beloved.
The Rock is
The
polling
Rock.
at 82%.
The Rock is up there.
Yeah, but that's just become a meme at this point. Like, people don't actually like The Rock.
Yeah, and also if the
his
Rock
personality's not that great.
No, he's a nothing burger.
if the Rock got killed, everybody would be like, "Damn, Mr. McMahon finally got him." Like we'd think
Yeah.
it was a work.
it was
If you
Betty White
smell the Rock decay.
Yeah.
pretty recently.
Adam Sandler.
I think a lot of people don't like him.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like if Adam Sandler was assassinated, it would be there would be a good amount of respectful silence.
Is there a lot of Chris Rock haters?
I don't think there's a lot
No,
of...
Kevin Hart is who I meant.
Will Smith is a Kevin Hart hater, or a Chris Rock hater. Yeah, there's really not that. I don't think anything's out of bounds for the memes. I really don't.
Unless
Well,
it's a
clearly.
kid. I think you would if you had like, one that was off limits, Sandy Hook.
Yeah, if it's kids.
Yeah, if it's kids involved, kids and violence off. I think kind of off limits.
Yeah, or dogs.
I think even if Trump took it straight to the forehead and died on live TV, there would have been memes.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing is, and
CT,
not just
ESPN
kids.
would
I
have a
think you
field
got to
day.
be under 15, under 14. You have to be pre-puberty.
Yeah.
and then you don't get memed. Other than that, where was Vendog, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know. He probably wanted to wait for all the facts to come
He's
out.
probably in the
first.
lab. Yeah.
Yeah. When Trump got up with the blood coming down his face, at first I was like, oh fuck, like, because you can get shot in the head and still like stand and still have it be a fatal wound.
He might have a more $1 million wound than me. For sure, he does.
I mean, that's quite literally, I think, half an inch away from death, right?
Yeah, but I mean, most gunshot wounds are.
That's also true. Yeah.
Like mine's 2 inches forward, it goes straight through my guts,
Yeah.
and I'm dead. So
Yeah. And that, I mean, the picture of the bullet going past him in the back.
that's crazy.
Can you imagine if it had hit him? That photograph that was taken at that exact moment. That would have been a crazy picture.
I think if that happened, that would have been become the most famous picture of the last since maybe Iwo Jima, and could pass it.
I think maybe ever.
Yeah, if you had the shot that was actually killing a former president
Yeah.
at a rally, I think that would be the picture.
The exit wound as it's happening.
Like,
Yeah.
what would that sell for?
I don't know if you sell it just like you would in Iwo Jima, like a lot of those, but like the original.
I think you sell it.
The rights to it.
You sell it to one guy. You sell it to Shkreli.
Well, I don't like. Yeah, I will to a publication. But I guess now, like, I don't even know how that works because pictures are just instantly
and
on
not
the
just
internet.
that, but he has rights to it, but so does the Associated Press because he was there on assignment from the AP.
If you work for somebody, then yeah.
I mean, that would be a full-time job. Probably like dozens of full-time jobs just policing the internet to see who's posting that picture.
Yeah.
Kind of like we had to do with Saturdays for the Boys.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever have to pay the pumpkin guy, the person that took that picture of the pumpkin?
No, he took you guys getting kicked off ESPN as payment.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, it's a very strange weekend, and now Joe Biden is trying to say, I think they withdrew all their ads, they're pausing their campaign. Biden kept saying that we're going to settle this at the battle bots instead of.
And he almost said "Make violence. America Great Again."
Yeah, and he referred to him as Vice President Trump just a few days ago. So then Trump said that he was going to redo his entire speech at the RNC. He was going to tear it up and rewrite it.
He has the potential for that entrance. Do you remember the last one was it became the Pokemon meme because it had like his shadow at the RNC? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, this one has the potential if he plays this right to be one of the coolest moments of all time.
So a lot of people saying many men.
Yeah, but that's so many people have said it now. You got to pivot.
Yeah,
you got to do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what song you do, but I mean, if he does it right, it could be unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And I think well, he said that he was going to tamp down his rhetoric a little bit and tear up the speech and do a more unifying speech. Like he has a second lease on life because he got spared.
That's true. Been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could change your perspective on a lot of shit for sure.
It mellows you out a little bit?
Yeah. Like I definitely think that when you go through something like that, you take a look at yourself and like, what do you want? Who do you want to be? Like I voluntarily left my kid. Like I clamored to leave and go to war. I would never have done that again.
Yeah. He's going to spend more time with Barron.
Oh, him and Barron are going to be best buds.
Thick as thieves. Mm-hmm. Still no time for Junior.
Oh, absolutely not. Why would you want to? That guy's a weirdo.
Barron's becoming a star now.
Yeah. Do you think Trump responded to Donald Trump Jr.'s text, like wishing him well after the attempt?
Don Jr. Yes. Eric no.
I think he left Don Jr. on red.
No, he likes Don Jr.
You think so?
Yeah.
Eric no though.
Eric no.
Tiffany, lose my number.
He hadn't talked to Tiffany in years.
She's blocked. But yeah, Barron's becoming a star. He's everywhere.
They're getting him out in the public now. They're doing a little trial balloon.
He's like 19, right? Didn't he graduate high school last year?
Future of U.S. soccer.
Is he a soccer guy?
He's a big soccer guy. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
He's like 6'7".
Big everything.
Yeah, I know
guy.
he's huge. Yeah.
Next Holland, they're saying American Holland.
I like that. So, Big T, what odds do you give it that Trump gives like a mellow out, let's all come together speech? Because old Trump,
I don't know. I don't want him to. I don't know if he says that's what he's doing. Then I guess that's.
He
what
said
he's
he was going to do that at his inauguration too.
That's true. Yeah,
that didn't happen.
And the Democrats really don't have anything to do right now. They're just kind of saying, let's let Trump have his moment.
Well, now it sounds like they're just going to send Biden out there to take the ass kicking so they don't waste an election on somebody else.
It's
kind
of what they were doing in the first place.
Yeah, but this country has such a short attention span, like that. I don't think it'll really be on a ton of people's minds in a couple months.
I don't think it will necessarily sway a ton of people who were like undecided. I think it will some, but I think it ensures that every Trump voter is voting no matter what.
This happens in October, it's over.
Yeah. I agree with what Big T said right there, which is if you were kind of like thinking about voting, like you preferred Trump, but you didn't like all the felonies and charges, sexual assault, things like that, you were probably seeing this and you're like, no, fuck that, I'm going to vote.
Like, I don't know if I would have voted in Illinois. I'm voting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people like that. And that's really what wins and loses elections in America is inspiring. Like, it's not the undecided people that have spent the last 7 years under a rock and don't know if they prefer Joe Biden or Donald Trump. It's actually getting them off the couch and going to go vote.
He's not that far behind in New York.
So, I mean, the thing about New York and California, too, people are always surprised when Trump has big rallies in those states. There's a shitload of people that live in New York and California that voted for Donald Trump.
For sure.
Like,
they're just outnumbered.
Millions of people in California voted for Donald Trump. And so they're there. I guess we'll find out what happens, because a lot could happen between now and November.
Yeah.
Like, Joe Biden might not be running for president then. Donald Trump might have higher numbers. He might have lower numbers. Like Chap said, if it happened in October, yeah, forget about it.
And a lot of those people usually don't bother voting because it doesn't matter. There's plenty of conservatives that live in New York City. They just don't vote because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, in the districts in Long Island and upstate where like you're electing Republican congressional members, they go vote. But
so I was reading some polls earlier today, and apparently even in parts where like Joe Biden is getting his ass kicked by crazy numbers compared to last time, the Senate Republicans, the people that are running down ballot, are still struggling. So it's more about
That's what happened last time.
Yeah.
That happened in the last election too.
Yeah.
Like where Trump was really close in Georgia to winning, but the Democrats swept in the Senate races.
Yeah. And I don't know,
which is odd. Like that is odd for the top of the ticket to not transfer down.
Not carry down. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen up in Milwaukee and over the course of the next couple of weeks? But the Democrats are in a bad spot right now. They don't know what to do. I was so mad that the report that Trump went golfing ended up being fake. I really wish that he was on the golf course the next day. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't actually out there.
Somebody was saying right after he got shot that he was going to the UFC event that night. Did you see that?
That was a very funny tweet.
Yeah, that was a funny tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have rocked if he had gone to the golf course right after getting shot in the head. If he was like, I got a tee time I got to make.
Do you think it took like part of his ear off?
I mean, not much. Like I guess we'll know whenever he comes out. The way that I saw it didn't look like,
because it was right at the top of it.
Yeah, it was right at the top. Like
Holyfield?
That's probably pretty close, maybe less. From what I saw. Like, and you never know like how good, like, because once there's blood involved, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like right then, but it didn't look like he was missing like a significant portion of it.
What about the reports that it was glass from the teleprompter that hit him? Because TMZ had it, and normally I would like always caution myself and be like, well, let's not fall for any reports that come out within the first like 30 minutes or an hour after a big event like that happens.
That would come out.
But TMZ put it out there, and say what you want about TMZ.
They're pretty accurate, yeah.
They get stuff right. Like
Kobe.
They are the most unscrupulous group of reporters, but they get shit right. Like they had Kobe. I think they had Prince, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
The only thing that would kind of make that make sense is those two completely straight lines of blood. Like splatter doesn't usually go in a perfectly straight line like that, but glass that's a shard that is perfectly like a knife could.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought it was
either way, and I don't think that matters. He was injured, like
Yeah.
being out there. It doesn't matter if it was glass. Like I had people that didn't like me in the Marine Corps. They're like, Chaps didn't actually get shot. The bullet came off of a ricochet. Okay, like did a bullet go through my arm or did it not?
I'm gonna count that as getting shot.
Right, like
if bullet goes in, that's definitely shot. It would be 1% less cool if it was glass rather than a bullet.
I don't think that it matters in the grand scheme of
matters,
things that somebody tried to shoot at him.
It
got
does
rounds
not.
off.
It does not.
I don't even think it matters if it hit him. Like I think if you have that rally and say it goes over his head, doesn't kill anybody else, and it's just there, I think you have basically the same type of reaction.
Yeah, but in terms of coolness, I kind of agree.
I don't agree with that at all.
You don't think so?
No, I think it needed, not wrong word,
Wow.
but I think for this kind of reaction, it had to have hit him.
Like if you're gonna have a sliced ear after getting shot at, and you're fine, you're able to walk away, you're good. You definitely want that to be a bullet wound and not a piece of glass, right?
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that guy that was at the rally, the craziest interview, the BBC found this dude that was exiting the rally and told him the whole story about how he saw the shooter walking through the crowd. People were yelling at him. He gets up on a roof. He's 50 feet away, and they're trying to like let law enforcement know, hey, there's a kid with a gun up there. It was a crazy interview. The fact that they got this eyewitness right after the fact, and then also the fact that this guy appeared to be wearing one of those funny, fuzzy golf visors with the fake hair that comes out of the top. I don't know if it was actually a fuzzy golf visor, but it looked like it, and I couldn't tell.
Like the Guy Fieri ones?
Yes, and this guy's giving like a really well thought out, well spoken eyewitness account of a seminal moment in American history. And all I can think about is this one of those fuzzy, funny little golf visors with the fake hair?
I think it was.
You think it was?
I think so, yeah.
In that moment, I know you got adrenaline going. You just saw something crazy. I would have personally taken the visor off for that interview. But
No chance he remembers he's wearing that visor. There's
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're probably not even thinking about it. After he probably walked
like,
away from
"God
that
damn
and was
it."
like, "Fuck, I can't believe I forgot to take off my wacky visor."
Because you're getting dressed up for a Trump rally.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy in the front row wearing a wall suit. Looked pretty cool.
Oh, the Build the Wall suit, was that? I think that was the guy that claims to be JFK Jr.
Oh, I don't know.
He's the
about
guy.
that.
He's been going to like every Trump rally, or a lot of them, for the last 7-8 years. He's the guy with the long hair and like the beard and the glasses.
I only saw him from the back of him.
There's
and
a
he was
couple-
just wearing a wall blazer.
Imagine going out of your way to listen to those speeches over and over again for years.
It's the exact same speech.
Right.
Oh, it's not. No. He gets fired up about like.
Oh, yeah. He talked
Different
about
things.
Unless
sharks,
something's in the
sharks
news.
and batteries. Yeah.
Yeah, some night he'll go out there and just like talk about some Hungarian model from the 1980s that he totally could have slept with. And then
Those are pretty funny moments
and
on Fox, too.
the very dishonest editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair wouldn't report the story correctly. Like he still has these grudges that he likes to bring up. But there's like all these people in the Trump cinematic universe that go to these rallies. I haven't seen the wall blazer guy, but there was a guy that dressed up in almost like a skin-tight bodysuit as the wall
Yeah.
that would go. And then that JFK Jr. guy. Big T, you need to look into this guy.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his work.
Look him up. He claims to be JFK Jr. He's at probably over half of Trump's rallies, standing right behind him. He doesn't look anything like JFK Jr., obviously. But yeah, it's like tied in with a QAnon thing.
They're like political juggalos.
Yeah. This guy is very, very, very prominent. You can't miss him. Once you see him, you'll see him everywhere.
If you Google JFK Jr. Trump rallies, all that comes up is stuff about Trump and RFK. And how Trump apparently wants RFK to get Secret Service now.
Yes, that's the other thing is RFK does not have a Secret Service detail. I don't know.
Nobody's trying to kill him.
The worms,
Yeah.
the brain worms.
True.
They're going after him left and
True.
He
right.
doesn't need Secret Service. He needs earplugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Antibiotics.
So where are we at now? Where are we at as a country? Are we coming together?
No.
Are we
No.
further apart?
I don't know if further apart. I don't know if you really can, and like unless there's gunfire in the streets. Like I don't know how you get more like divided politically than you are right now.
I think in a weird way, Joe Biden's mental downfall has brought us together a little bit as Americans.
How?
Because
no, it's just switched.
everyone's getting their jokes off left and right. It's like when Biden fell off his bike, right?
Yeah.
Now that was unifying.
That's
That was a
that's a
unifying
moment
moment,
we
yeah.
can all come together.
But I think that's the difference. I think that right now Democrats know that Joe Biden is like slower mentally. I don't see the same recognition from the other side.
Yeah.
Do you?
What, of Trump?
Yeah. You think?
But I
Trump-
mean, you
think
look-
he still has his fastball?
He's old, but I mean, you look at him. He got shot in the head, got up, and fucking was like fist pumping. Like you look at
He
him
got
and
clipped.
Biden.
He
They
got
are
clipped
not
in the ear.
They are not similar.
Like he is faster than Joe Biden. Should that be
no
the bar?
No, he's an old dude, but
he's slowed down mentally as well. Like
I don't know
those,
that it's that noticeable.
What? He makes those same types of mistakes, the name gaffes that he does all the time.
Not to the same. Come on.
Dude.
I mean, Joe Biden can't. The 5-minute speech he gave yesterday, there were 4 or 5. Like,
no, see,
his
this
brain melted.
is totally two different things. I acknowledge that President Biden is slow as shit, should not be president. I would also say the same thing for Trump's mental capabilities.
I'm sure 10 years ago they were better, but he is not even similar.
You're
to
not
Joe
worried
Biden
about
at all.
that dude where he's at right now and the way that he speaks, loses his train of thought. He messes up names all the time too. That in 4 years, when he's 82 years old,
I don't know, maybe, but he's what we got. So
I just don't see how one. I don't know how the constant thing is like this dude's old as shit, And the other guy would be, what, he'd be 79, right, when he took office?
See how old he is.
Yeah, I think he's 78.
So he'd be 79 when he took office?
Trump
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah. I mean...
He's 78. He would still be 78. He was born June 14th, 1946.
So he would become the oldest president ever inaugurated.
Would he?
Yep. If he beats Biden, he would be. Biden obviously would be if not. I mean, they're just fucking old, man. I'm just so tired of these American politics now. Just get somebody fresh.
I mean, it is, if you get shot in the air and you get up, you're immediately and start fist pumping, you're doing okay.
I'd say that's pretty good for a 78-year-old.
Yeah, but also that's a pretty good cup of coffee. You're not going to be sleepy when that happens. I would imagine Biden would be woken up too.
Biden would have died by the Secret Service throwing him on the ground. He could not have gotten up.
He fell off that bike pretty hard.
That was years ago.
I saw a very funny tweet that said...
That was probably 3 years ago now.
It said, yeah, Donald Trump's reaction was impressive, but if Biden got shot at, he wouldn't even react.
That's true.
And
yeah.
He just stare it down.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it took Trump a second to realize he'd been shot.
Yeah, because it wasn't like... I mean...
He got shot.
He did, but I feel like I could say it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
like I've been there
say
before. Like that's... You get shot and then like it's a clip to the ear. It was 2 inches from being like legit, that's fucking
Gnarly.
Yeah. But if you have the capability to... I mean, it clipped his ear. Like you have gauges that are thicker.
Yeah, I mean...
It'd be funny if he came out with gauges.
I'm glad.
I'm not saying that it's not like a good thing. I'm just saying that's not the mark of like, hell yeah, brother.
But didn't even you say when you got shot it took you a second?
It definitely took me a second.
And
a long second.
They had to check him for other injuries, other wounds when he was down on the ground, because when you get shot, you don't know where you get shot.
No, you don't.
Because the adrenaline. It's like when was it Tom Segura that broke his arm and his leg at the same time when he was trying to dunk? He's like, yeah, only really one thing can hurt at once.
Yeah.
So you don't really. I forget if he didn't recognize that his knee was fucked up because his arm hurt so bad, or if it was the other way around. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they like checked him on the ground and they like patted him down. And then when they stood him back up, I don't know if you saw this, but as the Secret Service agents were around him, one person like grabbed his head and like shook his head and messed up his hair a little bit to see if his skull was like still completely intact or not. That was funny.
And then he wanted his shoes. It's
Yeah.
like, give me my shoes.
Give me my shoes. I
Oh,
think
he got knocked out of his shoes?
Yeah, when they tackled him, I think his shoes came off.
And I saw one picture of a single shoe staying on the stage. I don't know if they got that shoe or not.
I think that's I think Reagan lost his shoes too.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you lose your shoes when you get shot?
Just the force. Same thing. When you get hit by a car, a lot of times you'll lose your shoes.
They go flying.
Yeah.
They go sailing.
I feel like those dress shoes too have the tiniest little laces of all
I hate
time.
laces on dress shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got to slip them on.
Mm-hmm.
Way more comfortable.
You got to really cinch those bad boys.
Yeah. So where are we at? Are we is it Trump in a landslide now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's not even going to be. I mean, he might win Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin,
Biden has to get shot now.
Arizona, Nevada, Georgia.
Yeah.
But even if it was Harris, I don't think she has a shot either.
That's why I think they're just leaving Biden in now. Just go take your lumps and then go die somewhere.
Go crawl off on
Instead of
crawl
wasting
under a rock.
an election on Kamala or Newsom or whoever to lose.
And I think they're going to announce his vice president maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
It sounds like they're telling people he's announcing it, I think, at 4:30.
JD Vance, is that what we're thinking?
So it was him, Burgum, Rubio, and somebody else that were in Milwaukee today, and
Vivek
it said
too.
Rubio. I didn't see that he was there.
Vivek he's a thirsty boy though. He's so thirsty. He tweeted out like he was going to Milwaukee just to hope people would be like, "Oh, is he going to be the vice president?"
Is that it?
I think it's going to be. Rubio is interesting because I think there might be a law.
He's been told it's not him.
Okay, because I think there's a law that says that you can't have the vice president and the president from the same state.
They asked Trump about it. He said there was a way around it, and they were fine.
I'm sure they could figure out the way. Rubio also looks like he's aged 15 years in the last 4 years.
I haven't seen it, but they said Burgum, Vance, Rubio, and Glenn Youngkin were all in Milwaukee and were awaiting President Trump to inform them.
Maybe they get Rubio in case he needs an ear transplant.
And then Rubio has been informed it won't be him. I haven't seen anything on Vivek, though I obviously want it to be him. Burgum has not been informed that it's not him, a source confirms.
Imagine.
So,
They don't even know is crazy.
Yeah, keep him guessing. It's like The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Now, if it's J.D. Vance, there's a lot of bad tape of J.D. Vance saying bad things about President Trump.
and then he became like the biggest Trump guy.
So you want to talk about guys that have called Donald Trump Hitler? J.D. Vance, I believe he said he is America's Hitler. Like, he was the most anti-Trump guy, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that. Maybe it was
I think it was before 2016.
Yeah, it might have been 2016, maybe 8 years ago. He was the biggest anti-Trump guy in the world. And then he kind of switched.
Lindsey Graham, too.
Lindsey Graham switches
Rubio.
back and forth all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Like, depending on what time of day it is.
Rubio was like that.
Yeah.
Romney was bad, and then he was good, and then he's bad again.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump said that.
He was good when Romney wanted to be Secretary of State.
Didn't Trump say that Marco Rubio had a small dick?
Little
Marco.
Yeah, little Marco. I think he implied that his penis is small.
I thought it was Rubio said something about Trump's hands being small.
Yep.
And then in the next, and he said, and Trump was like, and he was implying something else was small. I can tell you there's no problem, folks.
Yeah.
There's no problem.
That's right. That's fake news on my part. I want to say I just
not what
spread
Stormy
disinformation.
Oh, did she say?
She said that he got a little one, yeah.
Oh, no.
But she said he's got a real big mushroom tip. Like, it's very, very top heavy. It's like
Basically a butt plug.
yeah, it's like a cocktail weenie with an apple glued at the end.
Okay.
That's what she said Trump's dick looked like. So yeah, I don't know. Who's this Doug Burgum guy?
Governor of one of the Dakotas, North
Dakota,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. So not the dog
Because
killer.
Nome is South Dakota.
Yeah, not the dog killer.
But some radio guy asked Trump about Burgum, some bill he's passed. I think it was an abortion thing. And he was like, is that an issue? And Trump goes, it's an issue. It's an issue.
I like that. Even the guys that he's like keeping on his team, he has to let them know, like,
Yeah.
I don't really like you that much.
I would guess it's going to be him based on the names that are out there right now.
I don't think he wants anybody that has the possibility of outshining him.
Yeah.
And that guy fits the bill. Like Mike Pence.
He's a
was
nothing burger.
Mike Pence was as fucking plain toast as they get. Mm-hmm. I think that he doesn't want anybody that's going to steal his shine.
Yeah.
And also, he's just...
Do you think that disqualifies Vivek?
Probably. I think he's
Because
too
people love Vivek.
I think he's too self-aggrandizing. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that at this point, he's at the 1 yard line, and he just has to not Deshaun Watson it. Or excuse me, Deshaun Jackson.
But it also doesn't really
Also,
matter.
don't Deshaun Watson it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well,
True.
two
Yeah.
little, yeah.
But yeah,
Besting out with 2 on the ticket. Can't have that.
yeah.
But it doesn't really matter who he picks because he doesn't need anybody. Like, he kind of needed Mike Pence
He
for
should
like
just have his son.
He could. It literally does not matter at all.
Nothing matters.
Like, it's done.
I think the most true statement that he's ever had is that he could walk on Fifth Avenue, shoot somebody, and he'd still, like, people would be like, hell yeah, brother.
Who would have thought it'd be him the one getting shot?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just not on Fifth Avenue. Who would have thought it'd be in rural Pennsylvania?
Do you think he? What would be a more glaring example of nepotism if he nominated his son? I guess Barron couldn't do it, but Don Jr. to be vice president.
I mean, Ivanka getting a spot in the West Wing was pretty high up there.
Yeah, his wife as vice president, or LeBron James forcing Bronny to be drafted to the Lakers.
Yeah, that one's pretty big.
Yeah,
That's pretty big.
They asked JJ Redick about him the other day, and the way he was trying to dance around it was very funny. He was like, we see him as a really good developmental player. Mm-hmm. And he was just...
So he's going to be in the G League?
He said he would spend time in the G League, yeah.
Blake Griffin was very funny on Part of My Take last week. We were talking about his last season with the Celtics and why he didn't come back. He's like, man, I only averaged like 1.8 points per game. But, there's guys out there getting drafted averaging 2 points per game. So who knows? Maybe I just re-entered the draft. All right, so what else we got? I mean, that's obviously the big story and probably the biggest story of the year. But we had some other stuff going on this weekend.
Was there?
Yeah, there was some other stuff.
Paul Skeens starting the All-Star game? That what you're fired up about?
Paul Skeens, baby. Absolute Skeens. It's going to be incredible.
Also kind of crazy timing that JFK's only grandson got hired by Vogue as a political correspondent like 2 days before this happened. Just kind of like you've kind of seen this before.
Gunshots go everywhere the Kennedys are.
Yeah.
Or plane crashes.
Yeah.
I read up on that plane crash.
Or lobotomies.
Did you?
Yeah, he should not have been flying that plane.
Bad plane.
Bad pilot.
Oh.
Yeah, he experienced like a rookie pilot moment where if you're not like fully trained on instruments, you're flying at night and you're trying to find some lights on the horizon to like give you an idea of how your plane is situated in the air, but it's totally blacked out. Then you start to get almost like a vertigo type feeling in your head where you don't know what's up, what's down. And then as your plane turns a little bit, you look at the attitude indicator of your plane, and then you get disoriented and you turn further into it, and then you just go straight down. And all this can be prevented if they just took the attitude indicator of your plane and then put a little like cartoon plane with wings on it. So you can see, okay, this line is the plane, this line is the horizon. But you get mixed up sometimes. So you just, boom, right
Why don't
down
you
to the
get your
ocean.
pilot's license?
I was talking about that last weekend. I do not want to get a pilot's license.
Why?
Because it's, I feel like, well, number one, I have a crippling fear of heights.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's a problem from the start.
But I don't think that necessarily, I don't get freaked out on planes when I'm looking out the window. Just if I'm in like an open air on a deck or something like that.
Small plane is very different also.
Small plane is different. And to get your pilot license, you have to train on small planes. And those are like the most dangerous things in the world. So I just want to get good at the simulator, and then I'll step up if you need me in a big moment on like a.
Well, and then you can never be
plane.
disproved that you would be a good pilot.
Correct.
True.
Yeah.
I want one of those ones with the big fans on the back, like cruising around on the fans. You
Oh,
know,
the glider things?
yeah, but with like propelling that you can go.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Be fun though.
There was a guy that used to
Just
do
cruising over the Iowa farm fields.
that. A guy used to show up to sporting events in the 1980s, maybe early 90s, and he was called, I think he was called Fan Man.
Is that the dude that was at the Tyson fight?
Yeah, he landed in the ring at a
Yeah.
Tyson fight one time. He's got this giant fan behind him, and people were like running up to grab him and pull him off the ring, almost getting their hands sliced off.
Didn't he have that? Didn't he do it in the Super Bowl too?
He might have. He was going to all these sporting events.
I always thought that if I was going to end it all, it would be very cool. Like when I'm like 90, 95, just miserable, jumping out of a plane and just speared myself into some sand.
Into sand?
Yeah. Just see how
That sounds horrible.
See how far you could dig yourself down. You don't know. Like as soon as your neck snaps.
You hope.
Oh, you're not. I mean, from a plane?
I mean, yeah,
At 90?
but you just hope that, it doesn't take 30 seconds.
No, it would take no time.
Again, that's the idea.
Be awesome. Somewhere. I don't know where I would jump into, but I really want to do that.
I have news on the VP front that you'd be interested to hear.
Okay, hit me.
Can you guess? Not in the names I listed. There's another name. Someone's in Milwaukee.
We got a mystery name?
It's not a mystery to me.
Is the person
Pence.
a politician?
Yes.
Oh, that's a kind of yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
You're pretty close.
How can you be pretty close? Yep. Is it RFK Jr.?
Yes.
As vice president?
He's in Milwaukee.
That would be a bad move for Trump.
You think?
It would be a very bad move.
Why?
Because RFK Jr. is stealing votes from Biden right now.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want them to get too cocky, but it is over.
It's probably over. Yeah.
I'd say it's over.
There's just so much time. You never know what can happen in between now and November. But yeah, I'd say it's pretty much over.
Like, I would like Trump's campaign to still be, thinking there's a chance they might not win and playing accordingly, but they're gonna win.
Yeah.
My advice if I was running his campaign was keep it as even keel as you possibly can. Don't say a whole lot. Don't say anything divisive. And then you'll bring in, for sure, the centralist. Like, if he doesn't go out and say anything bombastic and, like, runs as normal of a campaign as you possibly can, he wins like Reagan did.
Well, I said after the debate they should have canceled the RNC. Just let all the news be about Biden. Don't even go out there. Now...
It's going to be about vice president.
Right, but now it'll be cool to have him do that.
Yeah, but I think that's the only way is if he gets in his own way. before November.
Yeah, and I think even so, it would have to be.
It would have to be something
catastrophic.
Because what else could it fucking be at this point?
Yeah,
like he's found liable for rape. Like if that's not the end, what else could he possibly? I mean, murder is the only thing above that.
Yeah,
and I think people would say I'd rather have a murderer in office than somebody who's a rapist.
probably. You think we haven't had murderers in office before?
We definitely have.
Definitely.
pretty recently.
Who's that?
Bill.
Bill's murder? I thought Hillary did.
Well, they've contracted. I mean, both of them
As a team?
Yeah. They haven't killed anybody with their bare hands, but they've killed.
No,
people.
we sure. Your guy has a lot of connections to Atlantic City.
Who's my guy? Trump.
Yeah.
You know, I used to say that I wasn't a big Trump guy. I'm ultra MAGA now. After he got shot.
You've been radicalized?
Yes.
Ultra.
Yeah, I'm ultra MAGA.
You're like
he has
green?
not been my choice in either of the primaries he ran in, but I am all in now.
Because he showed he can survive?
Just because, like, I'm done. They've tried to put him in jail. They've tried to kill him. I'm ultra MAGA now.
It's a big day.
that is a big day.
It's a very big day.
I mean, something weird happened with that.
Yeah.
That you don't get on a roof 100 yards from the president with a clear line. That just doesn't happen.
But also, this is what. Do you believe that a majority of people who work in the Secret Service or government agencies in general that involve security and guns are liberal or conservative?
But I'm not saying, I don't know.
For it to be a Secret Service letting it happen, there is simply no chance.
Well, I don't know that it's the Secret Service that let it happen.
But those were the guys that are on the ground.
I think it's a borderline conspiracy.
Same thing with local law enforcement. You think local law enforcement?
For sure. No, that's true. There was a cop that saw the guy too and ran away.
Right. Yeah. Like I think you can have, I would venture just working in those spots like Secret Service, at least 80% conservative. I mean, so I don't think that that's if it was the other way around, I could almost see that. It's not going to go against conservative.
But now you're just saying that it's a partisan thing.
It is a partisan thing.
But you're admitting that the circumstances are not normal.
No, I mean, it's a failure.
Borderline could not happen.
Even though being president is the most dangerous job in America, 9% of them have been shot and killed. So over the course of American history, it is a dangerous position to be in for sure. Like having that. But it was a failure on theirs, but I don't think it's a they thing is what I'm saying.
I don't know that I do either, but I think it's a borderline conspiracy to accept the story as it is currently also. That this guy just happened to randomly get on a roof 100 yards straight to the president with a gun with the Secret Service trained on him, and then he gets the shot off.
I think that's the biggest issue that we have currently with anything major that happens is that there's always a conspiracy behind it instead of the simplest answer being the simplest thing that could happen. One, when you're in a position like that, it took me combat to get there. Like where you see something, because you don't want to believe, because you can't put yourself in the mind where you're going to crawl up on there, even if it's Biden, you're going to crawl up on a roof and take a shot.
Well, the failure was before that.
The failure was every single part.
Yeah, so the roof that was next to the fairground was not part of that same property. So it was like a separate owner, and then they relied on local law enforcement to like secure that roof should have been secured. That whole building should have been secured days before it happened. And then my understanding, at least, I could be wrong, chaps, is that like day of you turn over those security parameters to local law enforcement if it's like a nearby building. That it's like you can't let anybody in.
Not that close. That is true if you're doing it in the middle of the city. Not that close.
So that should have been, Secret Service should have been on that building.
Yeah, so you stop doing that. You put local law enforcement whenever it's not like where you have to have like a dead-eyed dick to be able to make that shot. Like for example, when the president, I think it was Obama that did like the dedication at the Pentagon where they had like the 9/11 memorial that was at the Pentagon. There in that parking lot, you are surrounded by buildings that are in Crystal City. So Crystal City's the way around, and you can have lots of shot angles from those different places. So you go up there, you sweep it around, you'll put law enforcement, like local law enforcement on those roofs, the access points to those roofs, not Secret Service. If you're within a reasonable shot distance, it's Secret Service people, unless you just simply don't have enough, like if you're in downtown Manhattan or something like that. Otherwise, if it's close, that is going to be someplace that is secured. I cannot believe they didn't have somebody with 150 meters is nothing.
Yeah. It's a big failure. I don't know.
I could make that shot and hit them through the neck with iron sights. I wouldn't even need an optic.
No scope?
No scope, straight through the... I mean, 500 meters, the one that I was telling you about before, it used to be iron sights. Not anymore, but when I went to boot camp, it was iron sights from 500 meters. Like,
I'm glad this guy sucked at shooting. Yeah. That's the thing, though, Big T, is if it was, and I am still very much into, like, wait and see mode, because there's a lot that we don't know. It is weird that this was able to happen. It's
the best case scenario is that it was an unconscionable failure by the people who are supposed to protect the most important, assuming he's the president again, person in the country.
Yes. So,
which is almost worse.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I do think that since it was like, obviously it's a tragedy. Somebody got killed. A couple other people got shot. But since it was such a close call on the former president, then you're going to see security like you've never seen before.
Yeah,
both of them. They're going to ramp it up big time.
Both of them is about to be outrageous.
Yeah. So
the lines to get in those rallies are about to be insane.
Yeah, I am going to wait to find out more about what happened. It does seem very, very strange, like it was a big failure. But I don't know, because if it was a conspiracy, if this, okay, let's just go out on the limb and say CIA, right? We're talking about Kennedy. We talk about CIA, Cuba, Mafia, right? Those are like the three that people point to. If this was a CIA operation, you would think that they would get a guy who's a better shot than like a kid that got kicked off his high school shooting team for sucking, right?
And not a 20-year-old.
Yeah, probably not a 20-year-old.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't know.
Because what 20-year-old? I mean, you got to get recruited for that job,
right?
Like, you don't have a bunch of 17-year-olds just hanging out waiting for that moment.
Yeah, maybe the CIA just sucks now. Maybe this is how bad things have gotten at CIA, that they can't even get any good shots.
Well, clearly the Secret Service sucks.
Yeah, Secret Service does suck now. Well, it was a bad day. They had an off day.
Yeah, you can't really have those.
You can't have off days there. No.
I guess if there was one other story this weekend, another security failure last night at the soccer game.
Let's get into it.
That was insane.
Before we get into that, it's brought to you by DraftKings. In a world of slot reels and blackjack deals comes the must-play event of the summer from DraftKings Casino, featuring nonstop action, all-star cast of games, including A-lister, Loki's Luck. This summer blockbuster is one that you won't want to miss. Plus, new players can get $100 instantly in casino credits with just a $1 wager, and all players get a blockbuster bonus every week. So sign up with code MACRO, grab your popcorn. It's showtime on DraftKings Casino. All right, from one security failure to another, Copa America final was last night, and Argentina is now world champions of CONMEBOL. Congrats to them. Messi got taken
back
out
to back
and cried. His ankle swelled up like a grapefruit. A lot of flopping in last night's game. But before the game happened, tough look for Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. You had Columbia fans. I think for the most part it was Columbia fans that were sneaking in, right?
I mean, it was both. But yeah, there was a lot of yellow that I saw.
Yeah, so
they have lots of experience sneaking things into Miami.
Yes, they do. That's a good point. So they were at the game. The tickets were anywhere between like $1,000 and $2,000 to get in. Crazy expensive tickets. And then they just decided, let's just jump over the barriers. Let's sneak in through the air conditioning ventilation pipes. And there were like thousands and thousands of people that got in before the game that did not have tickets, to the point where people got to their seats. There were people in there, and they're like, "Hey, can you move?" And they're like, "No, we're not going to move." And security couldn't do anything about it.
Security said they wouldn't. I've never been in like a fist fight. If I paid $1,500 a ticket to go to a game and got there and somebody was sitting there and didn't have a ticket and security said, "Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about it," there'd be a fight.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you've never been in a fist fight.
I mean, what good is that going to do? You know?
It's fun sometimes.
I try to not put myself in those positions.
What about boxing? Any fisticuffs?
No.
It's a fair point. It's like my dog Leroy. He would not hurt anybody. He wouldn't have fucked anyone up, but he was intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So he just had to be there. And then other dogs would be like, "I'm not going to fight you." I feel like people are intimidated by Big T.
I get a good kick out of it when people act like Gus is gonna they're like, oh, is he friendly?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that would it would have been. I don't know what I would have done if I would have gone to my seat and there's somebody in there. There's like a family.
And then eventually they just let everybody in with not even doing security. Like people could have taken guns in there.
Yeah.
And so then they had to stop letting people in because they just let too many people in that the building could hold. So then there were people with tickets outside that couldn't get in. I mean, they're going to get sued into oblivion.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was escalators that got like completely damaged and destroyed. And it was
I don't even know how they did that. Escalators are pretty fucking sturdy.
I think maybe take a trash can to the side of them. It looked like they just shattered the glass.
But they'd
they're like
ripped
bent too.
Ripped the railing out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And like the metal was bent.
What about getting out of the stadium? Was there any like fights, any destruction after the game was over?
But the
I
traffic
didn't
was
see
terrible.
any, but I can't imagine. The worst game I've ever been to was when Tennessee played Virginia Tech at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it was like 150,000 people. Getting out of there was the worst night of all time.
How many hours?
So it took us. So we all thought it would be a good idea. UT had like these buses that were going because Bristol's only 2.5, 3 hours from Knoxville. So they had buses that were going. We're like, we'll ride the bus, thinking they'd be like chartered buses. They were school buses that you could like. I mean, I couldn't fit in. It was crazy. So it took us 2 hours to get to Bristol, and then like 3 hours to get from Bristol to Bristol Motor Speedway, just sitting there. And then getting out, it was worse. I mean, it took us 4 or 5 hours to get out of there.
That's awful. And all you want to do is just go
So
home.
we got home at like
Did you win
5
that game?
a.m. We did.
Okay. That would have been awful if you had lost that
Yeah,
game.
I think we got down 14-0 and won like 42-20 or something.
Yeah. I mean, if you lose a game like that and then you have to sit in traffic for 5 hours, no thank you.
Yeah, no, we did win.
I'm just going to fall asleep.
But yeah, getting in and out of there was horrifying. I'd imagine last night was about the same.
Yeah, so Argentina wins. England bottled it. Did they bottle it? Was that a bottling yesterday? It's kind of what they've done all tournament, which is just get scored on,
yeah, I mean,
and then come back,
right.
and then heartbreak happens.
You can't keep. I mean, they scored an insane goal to even tie it.
Yeah,
and then gave up another one.
Yeah, and then in big news, we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week. I was out in Lake Tahoe, but on Thursday, Greg Berhalter was fired.
Yes,
we did it.
Congratulations.
We did it, Joe. Congratulations, Big T.
Yep.
Bullying works. We successfully bullied U.S. Soccer into firing Greg Berhalter, and then we tried to hire Jurgen Klopp.
That son of a bitch. He posted that July 4th thing to get people's hopes up, and then he was like, "I have no interest." Fuck you.
Well, he rebuffed us. We don't know. We might rebuff his rebuff.
I'm seeing some guys on the inside say we're still going after some bigger names.
Who are we hearing right now? What's going on the inside?
I don't know about names. It just said bigger names because Steve Cherundolo, the LAFC guy, is the one that seems like most likely.
Yeah.
But I've seen some tweets that we're going after bigger guys.
Is that a full-time gig? Like that's your...
Yes and no. It is your full-time job, but like you only have to work a couple months out of the year. I'm sure they're doing stuff when they're playing at clubs, like, you know, but it's not a lot.
Now,
awesome.
Here's what I'm seeing right now is Luis de la Fuente, Spain's manager.
I did see that he said something.
I don't like that you can get other people's to be your
You think
coach.
It should have to be an American? Well, then we're fucked.
We've tried that.
I don't care. Lose with your guys.
Bring Bruce Arena back.
Have some
your players don't even have to be from America.
Well, I knew that, like a loose connection to America.
Yeah.
But I don't want the coach. I want the coach to be...
I think if anything, it should be flipped. You get whatever coach you want, but your players have to be from the country.
Or you give them citizenship. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, they have to become. They have to become American.
Yeah, you have to be an American citizen.
Yeah,
and if you're a great coach, you can do it. It'd be like that exceptional. What's that exceptional program for immigration? Where if you're like a high level person in STEMs,
gifted and talented.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
Do they do that in immigration?
Michael Greer is one of them, I believe.
Is he?
I think something near it because he got his visa because something about how not many people can do his job and be Michael Greer.
Zatu?
Yeah, Za. Yeah. I wrote a letter of recommendation.
Same.
I can't get it out of my tongue. Letter of recommendation for Za.
I did too.
Yeah.
For the New York office, right?
So here's the report here. Leading them to their first continental title since 2012, Spain's Luis de la Fuente guided La Roja to the Euros title on Sunday. Ahead of the final, the Washington Post confirmed that representatives of the Spain manager reached out to U.S. Soccer last Friday over the vacant managerial role with the U.S. men's national team.
With all due respect to Mr. De La Fuente, you have to be out of your fucking mind to want to go from Spain to the U.S.
Yeah. Maybe
clip that.
Maybe crazy like
I
that.
hope he does.
I mean, out of context.
I hope he does. Oh, yeah. I hope he does. That'd be incredible. But I guess it's like, but he just won the Euros. Obviously, Spain is a high-pressure, high-profile job. You come to America, you can kind of phone it in. Like, if you're a good manager and you get us to, what, the quarterfinals of the next World Cup?
If we win one game in the knockout stage.
Well, you'd have to win two now.
There's more?
There's more teams.
Shit.
There's 48 teams that make it, and then there's a round of 32 now.
Fuck. So, like, back in the day when we beat Mexico, and then we advanced and we played against Germany, and I believe Germany beat us on a bullshit handball, that would have been the quarterfinals at that point that we were in. But that's no longer going to be the quarterfinals. That was 2012,
14?
That was 2002 where we got to the quarterfinals.
What was the one that we made a little bit of run in, like
14? We got to the knockout stage and lost to
Belgium.
Yes,
that was
Belgium.
The game where
and it
Tim
was
Howard
extra time.
Tim Howard had like a
20
million saves. Yeah,
that was a great game.
And then they scored. We scored an extra time, and Belgium scored twice, I think.
Yeah.
I
think we took the lead, and then they tied
No, they went up one.
Oh,
and we
did it?
I think they may have scored both, and then we scored one to get it back within one, and then ran out of time.
So now what you're saying is if we win a knockout stage game in 2026,
we're still where we were last time.
That's still not the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
That's bad news for American soccer.
But
I still say
presumably,
if we win a knockout stage game in the next World Cup, that would be seen as a victory for U.S. soccer, right?
I think you have to win two when it's here.
I think my expectation is that our team should be good enough to get to the semifinals.
But I mean, now everything's out the window. We couldn't beat fucking Panama.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, that guy, awesome. I don't know a ton about most soccer managers, so like I'll have to look it up after they hire whoever. But
Jesse Marsh said that he's not interested. The coach of Canada. Smart man.
I understand that from him because he should have gotten the job last time.
Yep.
And they fucked him.
Yep.
And now he's like, no, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Yep. So we're probably going to end up hiring just like a sycophant, just a guy that has been around.
It's going to be the LAFC guy.
It's going to be a guy that is familiar with U.S. soccer and will suck all the right dicks and tell the people that are in charge. Yeah, then we'll stink. But I don't know. Let's get the Spaniard on. Let's get Luis de la Fuente.
Yeah. Sign me up.
I like it. All right, what else we got going on in the world? Mad Dog McKenzie, what's going on in your lives?
God. I found out this weekend the most recent dildo from the Bills game that was thrown on the field was my parents' neighbor who threw it.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was very funny to find out this weekend. And you told us the whole story, but I thought that was very funny.
Wait, is the dildo thing common at Buffalo games?
Has it happened more than once?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But-
news to me.
Yeah, the most recent one.
The most recent, was that in the last couple of years, or was that the one from
It was
like,
against the
2017?
Patriots.
Oh, yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
in the Bills Mafia documentary. Like, oh, it's Tom Brady's dildo.
Yeah, yes, it had his name on it or whatever. Yes, that was that one.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
So very funny, yeah. Thought that was interesting.
Oh God, I don't think I have anything fun to bring to this conversation. I'm so sorry, guys.
NCAA comes out in an hour.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for NCAA to come out.
NCAA football is going to be massive. Got a chance to play it last night. It was fun. I realize I stink at that game. I haven't played it in years and years and years. Well, obviously, I've never played this game, the new one.
Well, nobody's played it.
But the
years.
2014 game, I haven't played for years, probably even pre-Doug's. I don't think I played a game during the 2020 Doug's era. But the game is fun.
The controls are basically the same as Madden, right?
Yes, they feel the same. I'm looking forward to the create your own team mode. I want to make a team out of all Barstool employees. and see if we can compete with the big boys.
Can you do like straight and back for Mantis? Like how much bend can you put in somebody's spine?
I don't know. I don't know what the level of customization is like on that, but we'll definitely find out.
I want to be D tackle. Don't stick me on the O line.
D tackle?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, nose guard.
What kind of defense are we running?
And I like running a 3-4.
Okay, then yeah.
Because you can do more interesting stuff with your outside linebackers and blitz packages, amoeba defenses, zone blitz. That's what I'm looking at least.
I wouldn't even care what you want, Big T. I'm plugging you in at right guard and sleeping like a baby.
Guard?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why guard?
Because you have longer.
I feel like I'm more of a tackle.
Well, I can't, with your elbow injury, I can't have you trying to extend and trying to block somebody.
You got moved inside.
Oh, so you're gonna put me a guard where I've got to lead with my elbows.
Yeah, that's why I'm going right guard, because you're going to lean on the right tackle, who's typically the strongest person on the line.
Okay.
You were a tackle, but due to injuries, you got moved inside. But it's because you're versatile.
Yeah.
It's because you're so intelligent.
You might be able to work it back and get kicked back out there. You know what? I'll have you at right guard, but you're also going to be a swing tackle.
Okay. That's fair enough.
The game rocks, though. I love the game.
It doesn't feel real yet.
Yeah.
I need to be UTSA. UTSA is about to be a powerhouse.
UTSA, JMU is going to be a good team too in this game because all you got to do win your conference and then
but that's not playoff. That's not what you want though. Like JMU could theoretically make the playoff this year in real life and in the game.
Yeah.
You don't want that when you start a dynasty. You want. I'm going Kennesaw State.
Ground up.
Build from the this is their first year in FBS. We're building from the very foundations.
So how does it work? How long do you have to have a job at a school like Kennesaw State before you move on?
It just depends how hard you make it and how like if you put it all the way and you're playing real road games at like UGA and stuff, like you're gonna go 5-7, 6-6 your first year, and then you got to figure out how to recruit and.
Yeah, do you have
several years
NIL budget in this game?
NIL is part of it. I don't know if that's in Dynasty. Recruiting in Dynasty is really like crazy in depth. Like they said they have there's deal breakers now where a guy's like playing time is my deal breaker. So if you're a smaller school, like you can play as much as you want, then you're more likely to get that guy than say like if you're Kennesaw State and Georgia Tech is like we're going to redshirt you, then you're more likely to get that player. And there's all sorts of different stuff like that in it. Recruiting is supposed to be like really, really awesome.
But we don't know about like signing NIL deals.
I know NIL is part of it. I don't know if that's just in Road to Glory where you're a player and you can do NIL stuff, or if it's also part of Dynasty. I would assume it's part of Dynasty as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would make a huge difference. But it makes a huge difference in real life too.
Yeah.
We also have a cave on the moon. Did you guys see that?
No.
Scientists discovered a cave on the moon. Thinking about building a base up there.
That'd be sick.
I would roll with the moon cave for a while. But the rest of the show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Macrodosing is sponsored by BetterHelp. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. I've personally benefited from therapy in the past. I recommend if anybody out there is considering it. BetterHelp is a great way to get started. If you're thinking of starting therapy, you can give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible, suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Stop comparing. Start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/dose today. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/dose. Check it out. I do have a riddle. Okay, there's a portal that gets you into heaven, and it gets objects into heaven, and it excludes some of the things that try to pass through it. So, for example, a bottle could pass through it, but the water inside this bottle could not. What's the rule?
Do you have any other examples?
Sure. These glasses could pass through it. Mm-hmm. The lenses could not.
The external body, but the interior can't?
That's what I was thinking.
No, but I can see why you would think that.
Can you give me another example?
Oh, things. Oh, no.
That can of Lucy Breakers, would that be able to pass
The
through?
Lucy Breakers could not.
The can couldn't.
The can could not.
Okay. Nor could the things inside it.
The pouches?
Yeah.
The pouches cannot pass through.
Okay.
The bottle, but not the water.
What about the towel?
The towel could not pass through. The bottle cap could.
What about this bottle?
That bottle could.
Everything? Straw too?
The straw cannot. That taffy? Is that taffy on the table?
Yeah.
The taffy could.
All of it?
What about the wrapper?
Wrapper?
The wrapper
too?
could pass through too, yeah.
What about this cup?
Pepsi cup?
Yeah.
Could
With,
not.
with water in it? The Pepsi cup could not.
Nope, the water can't either.
This water can't.
That water cannot.
And this cup can't.
I'll give you some more examples. Butter can pass through. Milk cannot pass through.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Butter. Fucking butter.
What about ice?
Ice cannot. Do you give up?
Things that are made of... No.
Hang on.
Oh, Big T's cooking.
The straw can't.
The straw cannot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blooper could pass through.
Oh, this is fucked up now.
Okay.
Blooper could pass through. Even a fat ass piece of shit like Blooper
You don't talk about him like
could
that.
pass through. Ronald Acuna Jr. could not.
What?
Yeah,
Is the portal racist?
might be. I haven't asked it.
I mean, those are the same thing.
Okay.
That's really throwing me off.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Oh, wait. So blooper can, Ronnie can't.
Blooper can pass through.
Uh-huh.
Do you say Ronnie?
Yeah.
Ronnie could pass through.
But Ronald Acuna could not.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
That's interesting. That intrigues me.
Good question.
Are you sure?
What about Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan could pass
Could.
through. Yes. Yes. Manning, he could pass through.
Wait. Don't say anything.
Is that Smoltz?
What about Bernie and Ernie? Could they pass through?
Bernie and Ernie could not.
Okay, so I'm on to something.
Is that Smoltz up there?
Yeah, he could.
No, Smoltz can't.
Oh, he can't.
No.
You're sure?
Yep. Jonathan Smoltz cannot.
What about Glavin?
Nope.
So
Any
I thought
any other Braves pitchers?
Maddox.
Oh yeah, he could.
So I thought Smoltz has ruined what I thought I was on to. What about this microphone?
Nope.
See, I think I'm on to something, but Smoltz ruins it.
Is that Hank Aaron?
It is.
He could pass through.
I know he can, based on what I'm thinking.
Chipper Jones? Yeah.
Could.
Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking, Big Two?
I'm thinking it's some sort of. So what I was thinking was things that ended in consonants can, and things that end in vowels can't.
Tennessee could.
But water bottle.
Chicago.
Ends in E. No water ends in R. So you can't if it doesn't go.
But yeah, there's a couple that
lenses.
messed that up. It's some sort of word.
Illinois could. Tennessee could. Virginia cannot. Texas can't. California, nope. Sorry.
Anything with an A can't.
Nope.
Fuck. Hang on. Say those again. Texas can't,
No. No.
and Smoltz can't.
No.
Tennessee can.
Yep.
The straw cannot.
Correct.
Bottle can.
Yep.
Is it if it starts and ends with either a consonant or a
Nope.
vowel? It cannot. But if it's mixed, it can.
5-letter words.
Nope. Mad Dog is close.
What'd
What'd you
she
say?
say?
Mad Dog might be able to get through.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
Me being wishy-washy doesn't make this.
Maybe it's a maybe.
I don't know. I wasn't cooking.
Chaps can't. PFT commenter can. I can get through.
Can Eric?
Eric can't.
Wait.
Oh,
Start
wait.
over. Madeline can't.
Correct.
Mad Dog can.
Potentially.
It's something to do with 1 and 2 words.
Can Mad Dog?
Maybe.
Oh.
It's
do you mean
close.
maybe?
It's really close. I don't know.
So Ronald Acuna
Yeah.
can.
Cannot.
Ronnie.
Can.
It's something to do with 1 and 2 words.
What about long vowel sounds?
Nope. Doesn't have anything to do with the vowel sounds. Doug's can.
Coach Doug's.
Coach Doug's can.
It's something with 1 and 2 words. I'm just
First
not
and
sure
last
what.
It's
consonant?
not. No.
I think
Is it
you're-
letter structure?
I don't want to get into it too much.
This is bullshit.
I don't know.
You're so close. You're just gonna give up?
I don't know. I've gotten as far as I can get.
Ask about some coworkers here.
Can Nikki Smokes?
No.
Big Cat.
No.
Dan.
No.
Jersey Jerry.
Yes.
God damn it.
Nick Turaney?
No.
KB?
No.
Kate.
No.
Arian.
No. He doesn't even believe in heaven.
Arian Foster.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm lost.
The big clue was Ronnie
I know.
and Ronald Acuna.
I know. And so I thought the consonant vowel thing, I thought the 1 and 2 words.
Blooper, yes. Blooper's in heaven. Yeah, he could do it. Barstool could.
Barstool Sports.
Yeah, Barstool Sports could. Yeah. Sports Illustrated could.
Wait.
I don't get it.
Wait. Blooper can.
Yep.
Ronnie can.
Yep.
Ronald Acuna cannot.
Cannot.
It's a double letter.
You got it.
Not to throw that whole game off, JD Vance is the Trump's pick.
Told you. All
That's
right.
fine.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
Double
Double
letter.
letters.
Double letters.
Like Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, the D and the D
and
is
the D.
close. It's close. It's 2
Got
words.
it.
but
Okay.
I
it's-
knew
yeah.
it was something like that.
JD Vance doesn't move the needle, but the needle doesn't need to be
Yeah.
moved.
Again, he just needs to not fumble the ball at the 1.
Shout out Ohio.
Yeah, your man.
Well, let's not get crazy. Hold on. Let's not get crazy.
Where does JD Vance fall on the top things about Ohio?
Not high.
Ohio authors? What kind of authors?
He's not even
are
an
from
Ohio author, right? And he's
No,
from West Virginia?
No, he's from Middletown. Hillbilly Elegy is didn't he write that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the book I had to read going into my freshman year of college. Like it was our summer reading. I did not read that book, but
It's a great book.
Yeah,
I don't
apparently
think
it's really good.
I don't think I just Googled it. I don't think I put together that he was the one that wrote that book.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and his opinions are wildly varied from what he wrote in that book, too.
I was going to say that book was like not what I was expecting a Republican vice president to write.
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's kind of changed his tune on a few things in the last 8 years.
The town he's
Got him
from,
the VP nod.
Yep, true.
the town he's from is an extremely like kind of run down area. It's right by my college.
Huge opioid crisis.
Huge
Yeah.
opioid, huge fentanyl heroin crisis. So that kind of shocks me.
Purdue basically took down that whole town,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Middletown, shout out Middletown.
Chaps, this weekend I also found out about the death of, was it Evan Wright?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through your post online. That sucks.
Yeah, man.
I watched Generation Kill for the first time like 6 months ago, and I wanted to read the book afterwards. And I looked up a bunch of interviews with him, and seemed like a fascinating guy. And yeah, that was tough to hear.
I don't think a lot of people know that's who I served with. That battalion,
is
that
that-
Generation Kill was
It was
about.
that battalion?
Mhm, 1st Recon Battalion. Iceman was the platoon sergeant the day I got shot.
No way.
He pulled the round out of the wall and brought it to me in the hospital.
Did he actually have a voice like that?
What did they like Froggy?
Yeah, it's like very raspy.
Not really, not as much. And his personality was probably drier than what is depicted in there. But how they called Evan like reporter and shit like that, or journalist, that was real. When I first got there, they called me dog handler until like I had proved myself. Yeah.
So wait, Iceman, was he was like in charge? He was like getting on the phone with Mattis and all that stuff? Or was Iceman?
No.
I'm trying to remember which character
Iceman is
was.
the platoon sergeant or the squad leader.
Okay.
The guy who rides in the front of the vehicle and is telling them like what to do and like kind of the boss of the smaller unit.
Okay.
The smaller group.
Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of the dude who was like in charge of it that was telling people like I got to take the initiative and push through because Mattis wants us in Baghdad by like this time. Yeah, so I didn't know that he was embedded with you guys, but that show on HBO.
That was before me. Like, so that was the very initial like engagement, like going into Iraq. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that are depicted in that book, I worked with in First Recon.
That's wild. Well, if you haven't seen Generation Kill, you should watch it. It's it's fascinating.
If you ever want to hear, like, I think the special thing to me about Marine books that include dialogue is when they get it right. Evan knocks it out of the park. Like, nobody, if you want to hear Marines talk and how they talk to each other, that's exactly the book. Like, the dialogue is perfect. Perfect.
A bunch of dudes sitting around, being bored, making fun of each other,
Talking
busting
shit,
balls, saying like
grabbing each other's dicks.
the most offensive shit possible.
Yeah.
And then the next day they go into battle and they're like pulling each other out of ditches and shit.
Yep. That's the most real Marine Corps stuff that there is.
Yeah. It was a very interesting TV show. I want to read the book too. So that sucks. I actually started, I watched a bunch of interviews with him and I was like, this is a fascinating human being. He wrote for what, Hustler?
The Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone and Hustler, I think. He did Beaver Hunt for Hustler before he was embedded in Iraq. So that stinks.
And that spot, going in with a reconnaissance group that doesn't want you there because they want to be swift, silent, and deadly, like operate under the cover of darkness. And then you have somebody that's bringing to light the shit that you're doing. Especially when you get some of the missions that they do, the last thing you want is cameras.
Yeah.
Because people Monday morning quarterback, like the Secret Service agent, like they see videos of what you're doing and they're judging from a book of perfection while you're operating in real time when people are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like that, you don't want that.
I mean, look at what NFL teams do when they find out they have to do hard knocks.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck,
right.
this sucks. I don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but like times a million.
And
because
giving
you're
away
going into war.
methods, like you don't know what they're going to write down.
You remember
Like,
when Geraldo-
especially with video. Like, luckily they didn't let them have a whole lot of video. But how you go in through a room and clear a room is important that people don't know how you're going to do that.
Yeah. Remember when Geraldo drew up a map in the dirt of like where the troops were stationed? He was on live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. All right. Anything else we want to get into? We got an interview coming up on Wednesday, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the guy's name?
Dan McClellan.
Dan McClellan. It should be interesting. So what's the topic going to be for Thursday's show?
So, I mean, he's going to talk about religion. So where do you kind of want to go from there? Do you want to talk about like
Unheralded Bible stories?
Like Christianity?
Maybe we ask him.
Yeah, weird parts of the Bible.
What are you fired up about right now?
I
Weird parts
can
of the
email him if you want to.
Because then we could talk to KB about Seth, maybe.
Yeah, get it. Dan McClellan and KB.
I want to be on the Bible chat.
You want to talk Bible with old
Oh,
Danny
yeah.
M?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who this guy is, Chaps?
No, never.
Oh,
heard of him.
you'd love him.
He's become really big on TikTok. He's
Yeah.
like a Bible scholar.
Oh, is he the dude who like debates people and shit all the time?
He'll like stitch other people's
Yeah,
videos.
it's not like him
and
debating. It's more
He's got
just
a beard. He always wears like comic book t-shirts.
Oh.
He is an American biblical scholar and social media personality. He's a public scholar of the Bible and religion, an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was the winner of the Society of Biblical Literature's 2023 Richards Award for Public Scholarship.
Oh, he's a Mormon.
That's
Latter-day
what it looks
Saints
like.
guy.
If this is the same Daniel O. McClellan, 688,000 followers on TikTok, 18 million likes. Yeah, okay, this should be interesting. He has run for office in Utah twice, lost twice. He ran for the Utah State House of Representatives and for Utah State Senate.
What's his name again?
Dan McClellan. Daniel O. McClellan. All right, should be fascinating. All right, we will see you guys on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I know this guy.
You know him?
Yeah. I've seen his videos are fascinating. Dude knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Okay, sounds good. Come back on.
All right.
All right, love you guys.